Hello, beautiful souls. This is a quick beginner practice. This is perfect for anybody who is just starting out with yoga that is ready to start building strength and flexibility. So let's get started. So we're going to start in a crisscross position. So this can be challenging for some people. It all depends on your body and your mobility. So if you want to bring your feet a little bit further out and in, just play around with this position and how large you want this triangle to be when you're starting out. So sitting up nice and tall, and then over time you'll see how your knees become heavier and you start to relax into this pose and it becomes very comfortable. So let's just start by placing our hands onto our knees, sitting up nice and tall, closing our eyes, just starting to take some deep breaths in and out. Let's start just through our nose, taking a deep breath in. And slow exhale. And again, deep breath in. And exhale. Good. One more time. Deep breath in. And now exhale through the mouth. Let it all out. That's a good breath when we're doing our downward dog. So let's get started. So placing our hands down onto our mat, you're going to extend your right leg to the corner of your mat, and you're going to bring the opposite foot bended in. So bend it in. It could be touching your leg. You just want to be nice and open here. And you're lifting your left arm over your head, and then you're just going to reach as much as you can to that extended foot. Go ahead and flex your toe and reach as much as you can. If this is where you're at and both hips are placed firmly on the ground, you're good. So just listening to your body, side stretch here. Lift your heart open. Try to get your arm up, chest. Good. I don't want to, none of this. Lift up. Take a deep breath in. Good. And then go to the opposite side. So we're going to do a side stretch, leaning over. This should feel a little bit easier because you're going towards your bent knee. Ooh, just heard a morning crack. Good. One more time. So float over towards the extended leg and then reach to the other side towards the bent knee. Good. Come back up to center and switch sides. So switch legs. One leg goes out to the corner edge, opening up. Both hips are firmly on the mat, and then lifting up the right arm, leaning over towards your left foot. Your foot is flexed. Opening up the chest. Take a deep breath in, and then over towards the opposite side, the bent knee. Reaching over. Relaxing your shoulders. Deep breath in, over again. Good, and over to the other side. Nice, good. Swing your knees to the front of the mat. Find yourself comfortably sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to take our hands, we're going to put them right underneath our knees. We're going to come into our boat pose just to start targeting and awakening our core. So super simple here. We're just lifting ourselves forward. We're squeezing the belly. We're taking a deep breath in. If this is too easy and you want to bring your arms forward, you can. Good. And then we're going to place our feet down onto the mat, bringing our hips a little bit more forward. We're going to come down on our elbows. Good. And then we're going to bring our knees up so our calves are parallel. And we're just going to try to tap the top of the mat with one foot and the other, keeping your shoulders up just a few times here. And when you're bringing that leg up, squeeze the belly. So with yoga, core and having that strong core is helpful in almost every pose. And you will gain strength as you start to do yoga daily. But if you can strengthen your core and your stomach muscles at the same time throughout your practice, in your yoga practice, then you'll find that you can just get better and better, faster and faster. Nice. Good. And then lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Always give yourself a head to toe stretch. Whew. You'll find I do that in almost every one of my classes. Good. Lying down feels so good. And then giving yourself a little squeeze. Good. Point your toes all the way up and then roll yourself up. So you could bring yourself all the way up. We're going to swing our knees around into our tabletop position. And we are going to bring our body forward, just nice and gentle. We're dropping our hips just as far as they go. And then we're bringing our hips back into our child's pose. So you can curve the spine, roll the spine here. It feels really good. Grip into the mat with your fingertips and then lower your hips down, getting into sort of an upward dog position. And let's create a little bit more movement here. We're flowing down. So now we're strengthening our arms a little bit as we bring our chin to the mat and then lift your chin up. So we're in our cobra and then push yourself up and then push yourself back to your tabletop position and then sit back into your child's pose. Take a deep breath in and out. Take a second here. Maybe rock from side to side. Drop your head. And let's try that flow one more time. So squeezing the belly in, but we're separating the shoulder blades as we roll our chin down and then coming forward onto the mat. Our hips are coming down slowly and then we're lowering our belly down as we strengthen our arms slowly. Drop the chin down to the top of the mat and then coming up for our cobra and then lifting up, upward dog. And then floating our hips back. We're back in our tabletop. And then bring your knees to the outer edge of the mat as you sit back into a wide-legged child's pose. Let your chest go forward. Sometimes when you feel like you are maybe exerting a little bit more energy, you might be holding your breath during a position that it requires a little bit more strength. So if you do find yourself in that position, you can make a long exhale through the mouth, just like releasing and letting go. Can feel really good on the nervous system as well. Take both hands, bring them over to the right side for a side stretch on the left. And then bringing your hands to center and over towards the left side for a side stretch on the right. It's good to take those deep breaths in and out as you pause. Your body starts to relax and deepen into the stretch. Bring your arms forward. Bring your knees together, your tabletop position. And we're going to go first into our first downward facing dog. So you're flipping the toes and you're lifting your hips all the way up. Keep your knees bent if you need to. Maybe your hands go a little bit more forward and pay attention to where your feet are placed. So you can keep your knees bent here, but take a minute to see, are your feet hip width apart? Now we're all going to have different hip width. So I have very narrow hips. Trust me, it's something I've had to get over. Nobody is perfect. So squeezing the belly, taking a deep breath in, maybe bringing your arms a little bit forward, and then just sinking your heels down into the mat, feeling a deep stretch with your hamstrings. Good. And then lift your heels, bend your knees, and you're just going to jump to the center of the mat. And we're going to come into our forward fold. And then we're going to bend the knees. We're going to rise to stand. We're going to do a big stretch all the way up. And then lower our hands all the way down and then step to the top of the mat. Nice, good. We're going to step back into our warrior one. So since this is beginner, I want you to take your foot and just maybe a foot distance apart on the left side of your mat, and then bring your right foot back in a 45-degree angle and your hips are square. And now you're lifting your arm up, lifting your both arms up, and your front knee is bent and your back leg is straight. Take a deep breath there. You're gonna feel this nice, beautiful stretch here on the right side. Lifting up. Good, and then let both hands fall down to the mat towards your left foot, and then step your back foot and sink down into a lunge. Take a breath here. Good, and then place your back heel onto the mat, straighten your front leg, and then just let yourself stretch down towards your left foot. And then using your core strength, come up standing. Woo, nice. And then bring your foot forward and float down into a wide-legged forward fold. You could grab onto your feet and pull yourself in, or maybe you're just starting out by bringing your fingertips to the top of the mat. Good, and then heel toe your feet all the way together. Nice. Bend the knees, rise to stand, reach up. Take a second in mountain, shake it out, come to the top of your mat, and then stepping forward. Now we're gonna take our left foot back into our warrior one. So stepping the right foot maybe a little bit out towards, so maybe a foot length towards the outer edge of your mat, and then lifting the back leg. Your foot goes 45-degree angle, hips are square, lifting up. Bending the front knee, feeling the nice stretch on the left side, lifting up, lifting up. Take a deep breath in. Good, squeezing your whole body. And then lowering your hands down to the mat, stepping your left foot back a little bit more into your runner's lunge. Keeping the back leg straight, try to keep the knee over your ankle. And then dropping the back heel, you're going to straighten the front leg and just bend forward, feeling this nice deep hamstring stretch. And if this is too much, you can keep your knee bent a little bit as you fall forward. Good, and then using your core strength to come all the way up. Good, and then bring your hands to your waist, pivot your foot. I'm gonna jump around so my back is not towards you. Take your hands and create a bind behind, and then fall forward, trying to bring your arms all the way up. And then dropping your hands all the way down. And we're going to bend one knee and then the other, opening up the hips one more time. Maybe create a little bit of movement, a little bit of swaying. Good. And then heel toe your feet a little bit closer together. And one more hamstring stretch. We're gonna bring our arms all the way up to the top, reach up. We're gonna float our arms all the way down. This is like a large circular motion, dragging your arms all the way up, squeezing your glutes as you come up. Yes, feels so good on the waist. And then float to the other side. And around. It's good for your whole body. Get everything moving. Nice. Beautiful, good. Come to the top of the mat, bend the knees. We'll do a little quick flow. Hands to heart center, flow your hands all the way down to the mat. Bend the knees, step one foot and then the other. Lift up to your downward facing dog. Hold here. Good, flow through into your high plank position. Squeezing the belly, drop the knees, float yourself down, lift yourself up. And then just come back into your child's pose. Take a deep breath in and out. Coming up onto your knees, reaching up to the sky, lowering your hands down, coming onto your hips, bringing your feet forward and flowing down to your mat. Good. Bring your arms out, and we're just going to drop our knees from one side to the other. So drop both knees over to the right. You can bring your arms into cactus. Try to keep your shoulders down onto the mat. And we're bending or twisting at the waist. Take a deep breath in and relax. And then bringing both knees up to center. Might have to shift your hips so you remain center on the mat, and then let both knees fall over to the left. Nice and simple. We're just letting gravity do the work. And then taking a deep breath in and out, relaxing the shoulders, maybe closing your eyes, giving yourself thanks and gratitude for this time that you've taken out for yourself, for your practice. This time that is just going to get easier and easier. Knowing that everything is a practice. If you do it every day, there's no doubt that you will get better. Let's take a second just to relax in our Shavasana. Taking a deep breath in and out. Enjoying the silence just for a minute. If you want to stay in this Shavasana and you're at home, you can. If not, you need to get going. Like me, maybe I gotta pick up my kid from school. Take a deep breath in. Appreciating this time out for yourself. Bring your knees up, roll over to one side. And then crossing your legs as we come together. Bring your hands to your heart, giving yourself thanks and gratitude for taking this time out for you. The more that you fill your cup, the more love and care you can give to others. Thanks so much for joining me today for this quick practice. I will see you all soon. Mwah. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Namaste.